Hello Bitcoin world, it's Brian here, the UK Bitcoin Master, back with another video in my series Bitcoin for Beginners, and as always, have a strong hand. I'm going to start today's show by just explaining that going forward on my videos, I'm going to always try and drive home to anyone watching my three-step process for buying and creating wealth through Bitcoin. And that is step one, buy some Bitcoin. Obviously, register with either Coinbase or LocalBitcoins. Step two, get it off the exchange that you bought it on and onto a Trezor hardware device. And then step three, wait it out. Wait for the halvings, 2020, 2024, etc. As always, please like this video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so you're notified when I post anything. And as always, follow me across all the cryptocurrency platforms that I post this content, whether that be DLive, whether it be BitTube, YouTube, DTube that uploads it through Steemit. You can follow me on all of them at UK Bitcoin Master. So before we get going, step one, buy some Bitcoin on an exchange. You've got to register first, go through your KYC process, and then buy some Bitcoin. I don't care if you buy a tenner's worth, 20 quid, 50, 100 quid. Get some, and then each month see what you can afford to amass and accumulate some Bitcoin. Step two, once you've bought some, get a Trezor hardware device and learn how to move your Bitcoin from your exchange onto your Trezor. Now, there's some steps you got to go through, and I do consultations on that. So if you need any type of consultation, just contact me at uk.bitcoin.master@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to set up a consultation with you. Because if you get it wrong, you could actually lose your Bitcoin. And the amount of people that have actually moved their Bitcoin and sent it from a Bitcoin address to a Bcash address, or a Bitcoin address to an Ethereum address, and of course it won't work, and you'll end up losing your Bitcoin. And if you don't lose your Bitcoin, you'll have an absolute nightmare trying to get it back. So learn how to do it correctly. You'll always hear me say I never advise people to buy altcoins. Not that there's anything wrong with altcoins, but I personally believe that Bitcoin is the rock. When you see the dev team, the developers behind this, when you look at Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper, how it's put in place that it is immutable, you know, it's just the most incredible platform. And you know, Bitcoin is gonna be the rock. I guess it's like the Google of the internet, if you will. If that's probably not a good example, but you know what I mean. Everything else will be built on top of Bitcoin. As mass adoption comes, Bitcoin will be like the new gold, and it will be the store of value to hold your value that will give you the most return. So you've got to learn how to buy your Bitcoin. You know, get a Trezor, links below, links to anything relevant to this video you'll find below, including getting a Trezor, registering with Coinbase or LocalBitcoins. My shows archive is below. Everything you need is below. Whether you're watching this on Steemit or YouTube, if it's on Steemit, please do us a favor and give us an upvote and a re-steam. I'd greatly appreciate that. So important to learn how to move some Bitcoin, and the only place you should be moving it is from your exchange onto your Trezor hardware device. So that's step two. And then step three, do nothing. Now, my God, doesn't that sound boring? Do nothing. You know, do I need to trade it? Do I need to move it around, do something? No. Bitcoin is in its infancy. If you get some Bitcoin now and you hold it on your Trezor and do nothing, get on with your life, live life, spend time with your family, go to work, do what you need to do, and then learn to wait for the halvings of 2020, which is not too far away, 2024, 2028, 2032 if you're a lot younger than me, because that is when you're going to see the massive changes in the world where Bitcoin starts to come into its own. The scarcity side of it, with only 21 million coins ever going to be produced, 4 million already lost, 17 million mined already, give or take. You know, the scarcity is going to drive the price up. So you've got to learn what we call delayed gratification. You know, learn how to save again, if you will, so that Bitcoin will grow your income, whereas money in a bank and, you know, inflation will make your pound or your dollar worth less and less and less and less. So, three-step process again, and I've got something I want to talk to you about. Is step one, register with Coinbase or LocalBitcoins and buy some Bitcoin. Now your Bitcoin is on an exchange, and that is not your Bitcoin. I did a show a while back, and the title was Not Your Keys, Not Your Bitcoin. If you don't control your private keys, you don't control that Bitcoin. If an exchange gets hacked, and we haven't had one for a long time now, but it's gonna happen again, it always does, you could lose all your Bitcoin. If you get it off that exchange and move it to a wallet on your Trezor device, now you own your Bitcoin. The exchange doesn't. And number three, hold it and wait. So I want to talk to you today about just a brief subject, and that is passing on your Bitcoin to your loved ones and the implications. And I've been thinking about this recently, and it's like, okay, so I want to leave my Bitcoin to maybe my wife if I die, which, well, obviously she's aware of, you know, what we've got and the Trezor, etc. But what about if anything happens to both of us and we want to leave it to our children and grandchildren? All of a sudden, that's not an easy thing, because right now, how you don't want to go and give your kids or grandkids your private keys. You don't want to give them your recovery seed to your Trezor. So how the heck do you do it? It's like, okay, so I'll do a video and I'll give them the MP4 file or the CD, you know, now. No, because it'll have my details on, so I'll put it in a bank vault. No, you can't do that in the UK anymore. There's very few banks now that will allow you to put it in a bank vault. So I guess what I'm saying is it becomes really, really difficult when you own your own sovereignty to effectively be able to leave messages and links and goodness knows what, so that if anything happens to you, your children are going to be able to access your Bitcoin and ultimately your wealth. And it's something that we really, really need to consider, because it's just not easy to put a process in place to make that a reality. You know, some people say, you know, split your seed half and half and put one half here and one half there. But I recently watched a video with Andreas Antonopoulos, and he said even that's not secure. To do with cryptography and how these algorithms can unlock things and how they run searches. And it just really got me to thinking, what the heck do we do to ensure that our loved ones left behind can access our Bitcoin if anything happens to us? And I guess there are some videos out there that have explained a way to do that, but I haven't seen them. So, you know, do me a favor, guys, leave a note in the comments below if you've got a secure way to be able to leave your wealth and your Bitcoin to your loved ones, because I certainly like to hear about it, because it's really doing my head in, if I'm totally honest, as to how we do that. You know, I've looked at all the options. It's sort of plays on my mind about how we can do this securely, so that our loved ones, if anything, God forbid, did happen to us, you know, and we all go through life, don't we, thinking or having this sort of, I don't know, subconscious mechanism running that it won't happen to us. But what if it does? What do we do? That's the question, you know, because when it's your bank, you can leave it in your will, you can leave a message in your bank that all your estate, you know, is for your children, you know, but with Bitcoin, of course, you're not leaving that in a will. You don't want to be putting your trezor and your Bitcoin in your will. So what you've then got to try and work out is how you ensure that your loved ones that, you know, are left behind when you're gone can actually get and access your Bitcoin, because, you know, it is very clever. Trezor is very security conscious. It's very clever. You know, you've got to put your seeds somewhere really safe, but how safe? And when you give it to someone, how safe is that? You know, so I don't know. Put something in the note section below, guys. I'd be really interested. Brief show. That's it for today, guys. As always, like I've said, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button. Do bash that bell button so that you get some notifications. Any notes that might be relevant to this show are in the note section below. Follow me across all those platforms and give us a thumbs up or a tip or a like or whatever it is for each of the platforms. The links to those platforms are below, apart from on DLive, because currently DLive only allows you about 1,000 characters, I believe, in your notes. So DLive, if you're watching, you need to change that so we can add all our notes below. But in all the other platforms, you'll see the notes below. Follow me on Twitter at UKBitcoinMeister. When I post these videos, I always put a message up on Twitter so that people can go and find them. But for now, guys, that'll do. I'll catch you all on the next video. And until then, have yourself a supersonic Bitcoin day. Catch you soon.